my name's Matthew Robinson and I study TV and radio at the University of Salford, and I'm now in my third and final year. I'm now in my final semester, so at the moment the only sort of module we have is our final major project, which sort of, in my case, is a TV studio programme, which is between 20 and 30 minutes. And you basically have to arrange, produce the whole thing. It's a big team project, but sort of led by one person. For me, it's the fact that it is live and that it is like instant. I'm not a particularly patient person. It's very very time consuming. Mm-hmm. I just like, you prepare as much as you can and then you go for it. You do the recording or you do the live show, and what you get, yeah, it's that, like, you can't mess it up. You have to do it right, and that sort of pressure, I sort of like that. Sort of thrive in that sort of pressure environment. Yeah, there is always going to be a place for live television because it's live, it's relevant, it's happening now. People feel sort of a connection with other people when they watch live television because everybody's watching the same thing. Or in the case of news, for example, there's obviously the benefit and the need because it's current, it's happening. You know, the first thing a lot of us do when there's a big world event is obviously switch on the news. Obviously, you might see tweets and things, and then you sort of go to the news and you want that sort of reliable stream of information. Even in today's digital sphere, there's still going to be that want. And I think, we can enhance the want through digital technologies, like people kind of discussing things as it's happening, and being very sort of interactive and kind of aware that that's a thing, I suppose. Well, I suppose the most challenging thing about that is that it is live. It is, that's your one take. You have to perform at your best, and if you don't, then obviously things will sort of suffer. The program will suffer. But yeah, it is tricky, I suppose, working in a team, making sure that if something does go wrong, you handle it in the best way. I think, especially as a student crew, with myself obviously not having that much experience, other people in the studio not having that much experience, it's kind of trying to, I suppose, stay focused and really just not try and get too stressed. The workflow in Tinkerlist, it's great because it's cloud-based. It's so much easier if you have kind of one thing that everybody's sort of working from and working with, as opposed to, maybe I send a document to someone and then they send it back with changes, and then, you've got script final version 1, and then, things like that. And also, I suppose it saves on printing, which, as a university, you would think printing would be easy, but printing's really expensive, especially for students. The university likes to charge you for printing for some reason. But yeah, you can imagine printing however many scripts is just like really, really annoying and kind of long-winded. Whereas especially with things that are changing constantly, it's great that we can all kind of view it sort of digitally, and everybody can sort of have it with them and, can kind of work from it wherever they are. 4 of us could be on the document and we're all editing it at the same time. Or we can leave comments that somebody else can pick up and assign things to people. That sort of like workflow is like really useful and really easy to use. I've obviously quite liked the TV studio stuff, so I thought it was really interesting because for the sort of the 2 years previous, we just used sort of like Word documents or something. So it was quite good to see a different side and something that's obviously expanding and is sort of like a new technology. There was a little bit of confusion at the start with kind of exactly how things, because obviously it's different when you go from, you just having a blank document to having something that you sort of, I suppose, building yourself. You add in modules here and filling bits out, and then it sort of works it out for you. So yeah, I think there was a little bit of confusion from some people at the start, just basically figuring out, oh, this is slightly different. How does this work? And then through, I suppose, a combination of playing with it and kind of asking questions with the sort of module leaders, I think people are fairly comfortable with it now.